Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richard Billy Jr., and today I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
It's going, people. Got a lot of wrestling going on tomorrow, right? Ooh, Mania level wrestling. Nice.
Absolutely, yes. We're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
What up, what up, what up?
And we're joined by Mr. Ricardo Negron. How's it going, Ricky?
Going great. I'm getting ready for WrestleMania Junior, if you'll believe Michael Cole.
Yeah, well, even though there are only two matches on the card that are WrestleMania, every other match, I don't know about that. We'll see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But so I know that we didn't do a show last week. Obviously, there's a lot that has happened since then. So we do have a couple of topics we want to get into. But before we talk about No Mercy, first and foremost, I need to take a moment of silence to give my all of my well wishes to the family of Bobby the Brain Heenan, because he passed away last Sunday. So I didn't know if any of you guys had any thoughts that you would like to share. I know that WWE did have a tribute to him on Raw, but a lot of people was not happy with some of that stuff that they had on there. So I just wanted to ask if you guys had any thoughts that you would like to say. If you had any memories on Bobby the Brain Heenan, or if you liked how they handled everything on Monday Night Raw, feel free to let me know what you think.
There's only so much they can do, especially with the amount of time that they have. And he's been gone for so long from the company. Remember, he left there, he went to WCW, then they sort of brought him back a little bit, but he had that throat cancer or some other health issues. Remember, he was losing his voice. So it was difficult. And so there's not much when it comes to new content that they could have shown. And I don't know why people were complaining. I mean, it's sad. He was young. What, 73? That's young, especially now with modern medicine and stuff. I mean, but he had a lot of health issues. So it is sad, though. It is sad. He was great on the mic. I mean, the only other person I can compare him to is Paul Heyman. Both of them. You knew when they were on the mic, they were going to give an amazing promo, or get over whoever wrestler they were representing. We knew it was going to happen. So, which always surprised me about Mean Gene, because Mean Gene's also funny on the mic. I'm surprised he never entered that world and just stayed as an announcer. But whatever. Yeah, I think it was all right. I don't know what people are upset about.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think the main complaint people had is that, because of how his appearance was, because he went through the cancer, feel as though WWE really didn't show him. They didn't really want people to remember him. So that was where some of the criticism was, because they felt like they wanted to see more of this guy. But because he was out there, at different autograph signings and stuff like that, still, even though he didn't look like his normal self, like he looked before he went through this battle.
Well, those people need to check their emails, because if they have the WWE Network, then they would have saw that on Friday. I think it was yesterday. They sent out that they did this whole special of like all his best moments of Bobby Heenan on the network.
See,
so
okay.
They put that together. So obviously they're not just like, oh yeah, another one dies and let's move on. So they're listening. They know.
That's good. That's good. I gotta check that out. Do you have any thoughts, Ricky?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any problems with how they did the tribute. I thought it was well done. I did notice that they didn't they didn't show how his appearance was in recent times, and I think it's fine because everyone wants to remember Bobby Heenan, at his best health, at his absolute best. He was a great entertainer and all that. That's the Bobby the Brain Heenan that we know. I didn't remember. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You can compare that whole situation to Elvis. I mean, Elvis didn't die looking the way we all remember him now. You know what I mean? He was a big, heavy-set dude, but we're always seeing him with the sequence suit and pointing and the big, the high hair and all that stuff. That wasn't him, but that's what they show us. They want us to remember him in his prime. Exactly. I think it was.
Yeah. No, and I thought if they were going to do anything where it's like he looked kind of different, they could have. I don't remember seeing it, but they could have shown that part where he was inducted Bobby Heenan was inducted to the Hall of Fame, and said that he wishes Gorilla was there. I know that they've shown that clip before, I think when doing the homage to past Hall of Fame inductees and everything. But yeah, no, I grew up on Bobby the Brain Heenan, being the heel commentator and the manager who would get under my skin and make me root for the good guys. I was always talking trash about Hogan, always talking about Ric Flair and the greatness Ric Flair and all that. And he did his job very well. Yeah, there's never going to be another one like him. Like you said, Paul Heyman probably comes the closest, but I think Paul Heyman's his own kind of promo. But yeah, it's sad, but he had a pretty terrific run, WWE, and everything. So yeah, my condolences are to his family and to all people whose life he touched.
Absolutely. Very well said. How about you, Dana?
I thought it was a very unfortunate situation. I just remember watching him, as a child many, many years ago, and to see him, evolve over the years. And he always had such a great personality. He was so good on the mic, and it's just so unfortunate for him to go in such, like a painful type of way. It wasn't like just through old age and natural causes. So, cancer is terrible for anyone. And, I just send my best and all my wishes and prayers to the family and to the friends as well. And, it's sad, but also check out the special on the network. The network is really having great content, and they put together a really nice thing for him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, just wanted to take some time to send our well wishes to the family and anyone that was impacted by what happened. And, yes, I definitely need to check out the special. I didn't know the special was on there until you mentioned it, Adam, so I will probably check that out later on tonight. But that's all I was going to say on that topic. We're going to move on to the next topic. We need to talk about Monday Night Raw, and I was curious if you guys had any thoughts on anything that happened on Monday Night Raw, because this was the last Monday Night Raw before No Mercy. I do have a few things to say, but just pretty much I'll go to you first, Adam. Was there anything that you wanted to bring up that you saw on Monday Night Raw that you either liked or disliked?
Well, I noticed it's rare, but usually in a go-home, you have all the major players there, setting up your matches for this big, supposedly second coming of a WrestleMania type event. And a lot of big names were missing on this show, especially for these matches. And I was surprised by that. We had no Cena, and that's the big one that they're hyping up. And you got Roman Reigns just basically shooting his mouth off, doing what he can to promote this fight. But I just found it odd that they did something like that, and there was a few other characters missing. And I just don't. What? It was in San Diego, right? That wasn't. I don't know how they booked. Maybe he had other obligations. Maybe some of them had other obligations. I don't know, but it just felt weird. Just that alone, And the whole Bailey thing threw me off. And that I wasn't too sure. I get it, hometown, and she comes out, and they're like, "Yay!" But then they just threw her in that match. So now it's a 5-way. So, we all we all thought we knew who was going to win that one, just because it makes sense. But when you throw her back in, it's like, are they going to try to give her a title back, or is she going to? I don't know. So weird. But that's it. That was my thought. Just the fact that it just didn't feel like a typical go home. It didn't have anything like, oh, we're hyping up, getting ready for, No Mercy, get ready, get me. I don't know. It didn't do it for me.
Yeah. One point that I'll make real quick, and then I'll go to you, Ricky. I agree 100% with everything you said. When I saw that John Cena wasn't there, then I instantly thought, well, now why should I care about John Cena versus Roman Reigns? Because, the point was to hype up the match even further. But then they decided not to have him there. With Braun Strowman, they had the whole camera sequence with Brock Lesnar. Because we know Brock wasn't there.
Exactly.
That's interesting, but it's it didn't feel like it really was a go home show to me. Obviously, I would expect that No Mercy will be better, but I was a little disappointed that people weren't there. The Finn Balor Bray Wyatt thing is, we'll get into that later, but I don't understand why these guys are still wrestling, because I thought once Finn Balor put on the body paint and became the Demon, that was the end of the feud. But they said, no, we don't have nothing for these guys, so we need to throw them together.
This whole thing reminds me of when Bray Wyatt was doing his feud with your boy Dean Ambrose.
Oh,
remember that? Remember when they kept doing that? And then they had
talking about the first time?
Yeah, and they had the ladder match, and they had all those crazy matches, and we're like, all right, they're done now. And they just kept going. And I was like, yo, man, I mean, I thought this was
exploding
done.
television and everything.
Yeah, exploding I mean, they just kept going and going. And then, hell, now we saw it again with Ambrose and The Miz. Went from Smackdown over to Raw, kept going. I'm like, we're looking at the watch. It's like 3 or 4 months in. We're like, what the hell? Damn, they're taking some steps from the WWE game, the career mode, which just keeps going and going and never ends. So it just felt weird. And I'm still like you said, like, I don't see the hype behind that match now, because we all thought that SummerSlam one, that was it, right? He got his win, he put the paint on and stuff. So then what's the big reason for this one? I don't see the closure. I don't know. It just doesn't seem. It's to me, it felt like, all right, we don't know what to do with you guys yet. And then they both say, well, we can just keep doing this. Is that cool? Sure. Just put on another good match, because they will have a good match. You know what I mean? But when it comes to story progression, I don't see anything for both of these guys. And then even the Elias Sampson. No, is that his name? I keep saying it wrong.
That's him. Yeah,
it is Elias Sampson, right? When he was coming out before with his guitar and doing the whole thing and taunting Balor, and then that really didn't go anywhere, and he's now on the card. I saw that message. They're like, breaking news. They threw him on the card with somebody else. Who was it? Who's it?
Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews. There you go. Because I knew it was somebody that was
I
like,
forgot about Apollo Crews.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, I know it's somebody that wasn't really shown, and that's it. So it's like, oh yeah, wow, why? What's going on? I don't. It doesn't make sense, because at one point you're like, all right, is this really for Apollo Crews, or is this really for Elias? So like, damn, we're really trying to get him over. It's kind of messed up that he's not on this card. Let's put him on the card. But remember, it's all about timing. So that means another match is going to be cut short. If this is going to be on the main card, not a pre-show or anything.
Oh no! It's a kickoff match.
Oh, it's a kickoff match. All right, then it's not affecting anybody. Okay, I thought when they said it breaking news, because I just saw the little notification on my phone, which I always find funny that I get now. And it's like, breaking news, we got some shit for you. And I'm like, oh, is this special for me? No, not really.
No.
It's all breaking news. And that's it. So we'll see. But yeah, that whole go home thing, man, that really bothered me. Especially, I mean, if anything, I was thinking maybe they purposely did with Cena, because then it proves Roman Reigns' point of, you're a part-timer. Hell, you're not even here to prep this, to hype this match for the event. You know what I mean? And then they sort of threw something, a curveball, which is something I brought up on the last show, which is when Cena went through this angle with The Rock. Remember? And started calling him a part-timer when The Rock was coming in. And he was like, Cena was like, yeah, I'm here, every day doing house shows, doing this, that, and and then they show that. And I'm like, all right, you're showing this, but what are you really trying to do? Because, I mean, I thought this was all about Roman, but it's like, this isn't helping Roman, because people don't really like Roman. I still don't see the point of this either. Because then what? If he beats Cena, what happens? Nothing. You know what I mean? It's not going to help him any, because it doesn't matter. And if Cena wins, it doesn't matter either. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like anyone, like before with the Cena and The Rock, it was a big deal. Because if Cena wins, damn, he just beat The Rock. Holy shit, he beat The Rock. You know what I mean? But it didn't happen that way. If I remember, he lost. Right? He lost twice. The Rock beat him twice. So it was like part-timers can still kick ass. That's all it showed me, and it didn't really help any. So I don't know. I mean, I see Roman winning, but only if Roman comes in and just cheats. He goes in straight villain, and does like some shady shit, and so it's hitting with chairs and all kinds of stuff. Just go turn heel. It's pretty much what I'm expecting. That's the only thing that I can see that can come from that match. That's like, wow, guess what happened during that match? oh, well, what, Cena won or Roman? No. Well, Roman won, but he went all out. He cheated and he did this and he busted them open now that they're sort of bringing blood back, and he just busted them open. He kicked his ass. And that's it. I think that's it. But besides that, yeah, there was nothing else special with that. I still don't get the whole thing also with Enzo. Why Braun was doing the whole thing with Enzo. What different show? What's the point? And I don't know. Is that because he has heat with the guys in the back and they're like, oh, let's just throw Braun out there. Braun, throw him around a little bit. Like, all right, I'll do it. And then just toss him around. Because it doesn't do anything for anybody. So,
yeah, exactly.
It was weird. The whole show is weird. Yeah, like you said, it didn't feel like a go home. It just felt like another match, another Raw. And that's why I'm surprised when Cole is like, yeah, there's No Mercy is going to be like right up there with WrestleMania with the level of matches. Like, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I agree. Dana, you have any thoughts on Monday Night Raw that you would like to share?
Oh, it was so boring, especially for a go-home show. No one seemed to lay a hand on each other at all that was involved with any of the matches. And I don't give a flying fart about Jason Jordan. I just don't. He's just so boring. And I don't know if they're trying to say, like kind of like to make it an extra, this is Kurt Angle's son here. It was just so boring. And I didn't understand the match between Bray Wyatt and Dustin Rhodes. I'm really happy to see, Goldust, being considered, a member again. I don't know what's going on with that whole R-Truth angle. They just seem to drop it out of nowhere. Yeah. And then they just Dustin have no clothes, no makeup on in order to face Bray Wyatt. I don't know. There's some way to prove that he doesn't need superpowers or makeup to be a great wrestler. I'm really confused about what they're trying to do with that angle. But no, it was just, for me, it was just absolutely boring. And I have to say the only memorable thing was The Miz. The Miz has a great gift for gab, and his whole spiel was just the only reason to watch. But other than that, I was dead asleep. My brain can't even, begin to remember what went on. And anything would have been very simple, even if you just had John Cena and Roman Reigns trying to go at each other and, like the officials break them up. That would have been more entertaining than having no one, and especially having Brock Lesnar sitting up there in the Titantron with his big old head and face just, making threats and being boring. Nothing was memorable. So, and it was a reason why they said at about a third hour, the ratings dropped like significantly. So do better. And Enzo needs to stop talking at this point. I'm sick of him.
And that's the downfall I feel with Enzo. It's like, yeah, he has a gift for the gab, but he doesn't have the performance aspect, so no one gives a shit about his matches. So right. What happens when people get tired of hearing him talk? Then he's done. Because it's not like, all right, he can shut up and he can put on a good match. He can't put on a good match.
Well, he serves a greater purpose now, and that is to get his ass whooped every time he's on television.
Yeah, get his ass whooped, but I think he's still going to get that title. He's still going to get that 205 title. They're going to put it on him, and that's strictly for business purposes. Because he can talk, and they can put him out there, and he'll do stupid things, and he'll walk around with the belt and say stupid shit. And that's it. He's the entertainment part, but I can't work. It's just not. I still don't even understand that finisher. What the hell is that? He's pulling his arm and putting the foot underneath. He even botched that a few times. So I don't even. Do you know what his finisher is? That finisher that he has?
No, I just made it up randomly. It looked like he just made something up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's he's pulling the arm, right? But he's not going for an arm bar, and he's taking his foot and like putting it under the armpit. So it's like yanking it, or is it like one foot supposed to be going up? And I don't know. It doesn't make sense, And then the way the guys sell it, they just fall down. So I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know. I don't know about Enzo.
And even Bayley returning, I didn't feel anything. I'm just so bored with Bayley.
Why?
It's just boring. She's not doing anything for me. And you get to see her. Yes, she just came back from like an extended, whatever, botched surgery. What was it? Her shoulder or something?
Shoulder. Yeah.
I just, they need to do something with her, and maybe they need to change it up. I don't feel anything when she returned.
So I think general consensus is that the show is not really. It didn't feel like a go home show. But Ricky, what are your thoughts? Because you might have a different opinion than everybody here.
Well, so here's the thing: is that anytime I watch Raw and SmackDown these days, because I work a later shift now, I'm playing catch up, and I catch things and I miss things with Raw. The only things I really remember from this past Raw were Roman Reigns having the promo, and then the back and forth with Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. Now, the Roman Reigns thing, to his credit, he looked a lot more comfortable there. Probably one of his best promos in a while, but it definitely was far from any groundbreaking thing. And I think that shows that face-to-face with someone like Cena, he's very weak. But on his own, without Cena there to retort, he's able to look strong, as CM Punk, was once said. And yeah, the whole thing with keeping Cena out of there was probably done deliberately as kind of a bit of a ironic angle there, considering the whole thing with Cena and Rock in the past. Interested in seeing what happens with the match and what happens afterwards, and we'll go into that when we get into No Mercy predictions. But the Roman Reigns promo, was all right. I liked Braun Strowman's delivery in the promo with Brock Lesnar. I was actually impressed by it. Granted, he may have been reading off a cue card the whole time and all that, but at least he wasn't like, robotic like Ryback back in the day when he's just like, yeah, I am going to fight and then I'm going to eat some more. Like the really just, just no personality. And what I really liked about this promo was that they looked in the camera. Both of them look in the camera, no staring off into the sunset or whatever the fuck they're doing. They were looking to the camera, looking to the people at home, and doing it that way. And then I get the idea of this one was that they were kind of looking at each other, whatever. I find those to be the best when they're showing their eyes to you. And so I thought that Braun Strowman was excellent. Brock Lesnar was Brock Lesnar. He can't cut a promo to save his life. Paul Heyman was excellent. He was the usual stuff. Yeah, I mean, everything else. I mean, there was that whole clusterfuck of like all the women being put into the title match. I just don't care about that. I don't know. Like, we'll get into that again with the predictions. I can't remember much else about Raw, so it was a very forgettable Raw to me. Yeah.
No, but that is some pretty good thoughts though on what you did see. I mean, I know they want people to pay the most attention to the Roman Reigns, the John Cena match, and the Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman match. So you saw the segments that mattered. The other stuff, no, I don't care about Jason Jordan either. I'm with Dana on that 100%. I don't care about the character.
Nobody cares. You hear the crowd reaction. No one cares. So, I mean, they always say, no reaction is the worst reaction, especially when it comes to wrestling. They'll go with the boos and they'll go with the cheers, but when the crowd is dead quiet, then they're like, oh, we got a problem. So when he comes out, every time he comes out so far, the crowd is just like, no one cares. It's like, oh, wow, this is the time I can go to the bathroom. All right. Take a look at the crowd. See people walking around. Oh, they're going to do this stuff again? Nope, don't want to hear. Don't care what he has to say. I don't get it.
It's like, oh, go ahead.
The only thing I can see as a build-up is that Kurt Angle's going to come out and help him, and they're going to do a tag match. That's the only thing I could think of. Because, I mean, right now, no one cares whether he wins or he loses. It's pointless.
Stop even thinking that, because you're thinking of things that make sense. And we all know that right now.
Very good point.
Yeah. The Jason Jordan push is basically the Roman Reigns push if people actually no-sold the Roman Reigns push. I think it's just, I remember there being like, what was it, that Battle Royale to determine who would face The Miz for the Intercontinental belt. And then when it came down to Jason Jordan and Jeff Hardy, people think, oh God, they're really going to have just Jason Jordan win. And I was rolling my eyes until like Jason Jordan got eliminated. I was like, oh, good, it's not Jason Jordan. But now, obviously, Miz talking to Bo Dallas and Chris Axel and saying like, we have to keep Jason Jordan out of this. He has he does not deserve to this. It just gave away that he's going to win the fucking match and become the contender. So yeah, I don't care for it. Like, Jason Jordan's talented, but I don't care for the push. I don't care for the whole he's Kurt Angle's son thing. They're not even really addressing that anymore for some reason. So I don't know.
Very good points all around. So yeah, general consensus, Raw was not really all that impressive. So with that said, now let's discuss a SmackDown and whether or not you guys have any thoughts on SmackDown. I know there's one topic in particular we definitely will get to with Jinder Mahal, but Dana, how about you start us off and let us know what you liked or didn't like about SmackDown Live?
Again, I'm going to say it was it wasn't memorable, but overall it was better than Raw. What I did like was, I did like that they gave more opportunity for Shinsuke to talk. I did like, we're going to get into the whole Jinder Mahal thing later on, but I did like the fact that they was able to have him respond to that dreadful segment. But other than that, I think that whole Jinder Mahal skit really took made it so memorable. Other than that, I don't really remember much of anything. The show was pretty much a downer.
Well, the one thing I remember that pissed me off, and I'm tired of it, is the whole Dolph Ziggler coming out and impersonating everybody.
Yes, yep.
See, to me, that was the funniest part, though. That's the only, that's the last leg that they have to stand on, is for that whole little Dolph Ziggler segment thing.
I just don't see the point of that, though. I don't get it. So what is he doing? He's just trying to upset people, but it's still not. It doesn't help his character, because it was like, all right, fine, you're a bad guy, we don't like you, but we didn't like you when you first came out. Remember when he was a heel and he was with AJ Lee, and then doing that whole thing, and Big E.
That's true, but they don't seem to have any direction with the show. But for some strange reason, that is the most entertaining. It's more like, let's see who he'll come out as now, and then you'll forget about it later on.
Yeah, it just felt weird, and it's like, all right, so, and it's long too. Those segments. It's not like, oh, he comes out 1 or 2 at a time. It's like over 10 minutes. This guy gets to come out, address the crowd. Oh, you don't like me, you don't like my skills, you don't believe in my abilities, blah blah blah, and then run out and then come back out of this like. Was it Shawn Michaels and doing that whole thing? It really upset me when he did the Macho Man. That pissed me off. And then this time, and then when he did the Warrior, it's like, those are cheap shots. Those are real cheap shots to people. And I think Miss Warrior said something.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was going to ask if she did address that, because they're working with her now, and I would just think they wouldn't go in that direction because of that relationship.
I think they told her. They must have told her. I didn't read her comment because I was like, oh, well. I felt it was wrong, and for me, that was enough. It's just some things feel like cheap shots. It reminds me of when Charlotte Flair was going through some promo. I forgot who she was feuding with, but then they brought up her dead brother. And that was like, you remember that?
Paige,
and I'm like, that. Why? That's real tragedy. You know what I mean? It's like. If I had a sibling that died, whether we're goofing on it or not, that just brings back, that would just bring back sad feelings. Regardless, I would just feel like, shit, this is not something to joke about or even to bring up in a storyline. And I'd be like, oh, it's to live his memory, blah, blah, bullshit. Don't do it. It's a cheap shot. Don't do it. You know, you're just trying to get that cheap heat, you know, and that's it. And that's the same thing I felt when Dolph comes out and he does the Macho Man because he passed and everybody loved him. So you're going to boo. And then with the Warrior, the fucking guy had a statue. Remember the bronze statue? And then you come out and do the whole thing. And then you want to disgrace him and say, yeah, he wasn't the best worker, but the guy was an amazing character. You know what I mean? That character, the Ultimate Warrior, we will always remember that. You know? So it upset me with that. And I hope he doesn't go back in that. I was hoping. The one thing you heard, people were chanting CM Punk, and I'm hoping that every time he comes out, they do that just so he can stop doing this shit. Because they'll be like, you know what, we're setting ourselves up for this. Because now every time we come out and he says he's going to come out as another superstar, everyone's going to start chanting it, and we know Vince don't like those chants. You know,
but
so
call me crazy. So that right there is the most perfect opportunity for him to actually come out as CM Punk, to acknowledge it, because they have acknowledged his existence before.
Well, if he can come out as CM Punk and play CM Punk the character, and they can do that like when they did Fake Diesel or Fake Razor Ramon, I would be all for that. You know, but I don't see that happening. So I don't see where this is going unless he comes out with a shaved head and he's a completely different character, and then everyone's quiet and they're looking at him and like, who's this? And then he says, this is me. And he says his real name, not Dolph Ziggler. And then he goes down to the ring and then he starts wrestling. Then I'll be like, okay, this is different.
Even if they act the 15-second fight that he had in the UFC?
No. Wait, are we talking about if he came down as Punk?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm saying that if Dolph Ziggler comes down with a shaved head and he just says his real name.
And he's Nick Nemeth.
Yeah, exactly. He goes with his real name, and he's dropped that character just to stun the crowd because everyone's going to look at him like, wow, he looks different. You know, and then they're just going to be like, all right, who is he? And he'll maybe have a different outfit on or something, and then just be like, my name is so-and-so, and this is me. And that's it. And then just throw people off. And then he'll start wrestling and have a whole new entrance music and the whole thing, and that's it. He's been reborn.
Well, you know, Dolph Ziggler, you know, I believe his contract will be up soon, so we won't have to spend too much time with this particular.
They keep saying that. They keep saying, oh, he's going to leave. And I mean, we've heard this every time his contract goes up. You know, people don't understand. This is big money that these guys are getting. I mean, they're giving up pretty much their entire life to wrestle. You know, they're off, a handful of days throughout the year.
Yeah.
So they get big paychecks. And so I don't know if he's willing to walk away because he's getting over six figures. So yes, if he really loves the business and he loves the craft, he could leave and take his chance like Cody Rhodes. But thing is that with Cody is a road. That name sells right there. So when people are like, well, Cody did it. Well, Cody is a road. You know what I mean? That's wrestling royalty family right there. You mean, of course he's going to find work. It's going to happen. And I think eventually when Dusty Rhodes, his contract up, I'm sure something will happen and he'll probably go out there now that his brother's in. You know, and then they can go and do some tag team and do some stuff. But I don't know with Dolph. I don't know if it'll work out for him if he goes to Japan and he does that whole thing with the Indies. I mean, right now, though, financially, he doesn't need the WWE. He's been there bunches of years. I'm sure he saved his money. He's got money, you know, so that's not going to be an issue. But I just don't know if that's something he wants to do. You know, I mean, think about it. As much as people say, "Oh, they're not doing anything with him," I just finished telling you he had the longest segment out of anybody else on that damn show, you know, including matches, and it was all him. All eyes were on him. You know what I mean? So as much as people, they're not doing anything with him. They're not doing this and this, you know. And yeah, it looks like that, but they have some end goal because they're giving him all this valuable TV time. You know, so if anything, they're trying to tell him, hey, if this is his idea, who knows? It's like, all right, go out there and do it. They believe in him for him to go out and do it. I just hope there's an end game to it that we all appreciate and that he'll appreciate.
Oh, you know? I already know what the end game is.
You do? What is it?
We're going to see him go up against the Glorious One, since Bobby Roode has not been on TV for weeks. So there's a reason why he's not on TV. It has to be related to either this or unless they have we have another opponent for him. So that even sucks because then it's like you're doing all this,
just to feed someone else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not right. This has to be something for him to grow. Because like I said, I'm waiting for him to come out as somebody else, and people just not sure who he is with different music and everything. And then he'll say his new character name, but I think his new character name will just be him. You know, his name. A lot of people just go in their real names now, so Dolph Ziggler's not his name.
I'll be fine with that. But I do have one request, that if he is going to continue to do these impersonations, I want him to come out and do Ricky's favorite wrestler, Val Venus, because I want to see how ridiculous that would be now in the G-rated era, they call it in WWE. That might change, but that's what I want to see next.
If he comes out with the Val Venus. That's the thing, is he's been coming out as big names. I wouldn't say Val Venus was a big name. He was, a interesting mid-card guy, but he was never a big name.
Yeah, I want to see who's next. Well, Undertaker perhaps.
What's his name? Ravishing Rick Rude. Rick Rude was a big name, and he sort of had that Val Venus, like, pumping his hips, and his crowds was like, "Yo, ladies, you want a real man?" Yeah.
That's true. Well, we'll see. Ricky, did you have any thoughts on SmackDown?
A couple. Going the whole thing with Ziggler. While I was listening to you guys talk, the CM Punk thing, it would be a good idea if, like, before coming out and doing his whole, rant and then going to the back and changing into a costume and all that, it would be hilarious if, like, suddenly, Punk's music hits and the Titantron goes on and the crowd goes nuts. They think, oh my God, is he actually back? And it's actually Dolph Ziggler dressed up as him. That would give him so much heat, like with that whole thing. But that probably won't happen. But Ziggler, I don't know what the end game is with this guy. He's been playing the same character for like the last 8 years or whatever. The disgruntled employee who is like, the underdog, and people overlook me, and I'm so good at this and blah blah. I steal the show, even though he never does. I find him, I do find him entertaining in some regards and all that, and I actually find the whole, like, he's basically exercising his improv skills, I think, with his whole costume stuff, and I actually find it kind of entertaining. It's ironic that he's actually entertaining the fans with these things while trying to be like, oh, well, this is what you guys want, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know where they're going with it, is the thing. That's Ziggler. The Jinder Mahal thing, I thought they went a little too far with that. Needless to say, they already did a pretty racist promo with the previous SmackDown. I feel like they tried to up the ante on it. It just goes to show that Vince knows no shame, no boundaries on things. There's nothing that's off limits to him. Real deaths like with Charlotte's brother are all fair game if it's to promote Vince's business, which is kind of disgusting. But I don't know. It doesn't do Jinder Mahal any favors. It doesn't do Shinsuke any favors. It does no one favors. All it does is make the company look bad, and it's pretty bad when you have a fan base who, let's be honest, like I'm talking about, like, with all the USA chants and stuff. You have a fan base that's could be very xenophobic themselves. When they have to step in and be like, look, that's a little bit too racist for our liking, that's when like, it's really fucked up. I didn't quite like that. Oh, hold on. I have to take a phone call. 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah, that's Vince McMahon. He heard him mention that, so he's calling him to cuss him out.
That's it. He's like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Shit.
That's that. So since he brought it up, now, what do you guys think about the Jinder Mahal thing? I'll let you go first, Dana, because I know you wanted to touch on it earlier. So go ahead and tell me now, what did you think about this Jinder Mahal promo? That
Dana, tell me. I don't even know what he said. I don't remember what he said.
I can tell you what he said.
basically going into the ring, and his opponent is Shinsuke Nakamura, and he went in there and he was explaining. It wasn't necessarily an explanation; it was a terrible presentation of how Shinsuke has the same reaction with, like, that face that he makes, like this. It's not like necessarily an angry face; it's like a face that they captured in a moment of him doing a move, and so his eyes closed and he's kind of grimacing.
Yeah,
So they made fun, and they talked about his eyes, and they talked about how Asian people say Ronri, or they always pronounces their R's instead of the W's, and it was just one Asian stereotype after another, and it got to the point where there was no purpose for you to even do this. It didn't promote their match. It didn't promote either one of them, and it was just basically an attack on the Asian community.
Well, I guess they felt because he's from Asia that it's like, oh.
Yeah, that's so because he's from Asia, but their definition or explanation of being racist that day was saying that America itself is racist and xenophobic. And so we as minorities have to stick together. But you're completely losing that if you're making fun of someone based on their stereotypes. And it got to the point where, as was already explained, the crowd chanting, "This is too far." They took the jokes to the point where it was like, oh, that uncomfortable laughter, to dead silence. To them chanting like, "This is too far." It was unnecessary, and it was just it was disgusting. In all honesty, it was disgusting, and it took it made national attention. It made all the news, and people from all different organizations, and even like random Soledad O'Brien was tweeting about it. And it got to the point where WWE had to release a very generic statement, the same statement that they made about Hulk Hogan, which was basically saying, oh, we support and love people from all different communities and backgrounds. But they would not apologize for the skit that they did.
Now, I do have a quick question. Now, the video was never put on YouTube, right? I just wanted to double check.
It was never put on YouTube.
Yep.
But people easily, you can find it. You can screen capture it. Those who have, there's DVRs. I know that it's on demand. So you're able to pull it up on demand. It's still there in YouTube. Everything, once it airs live, there's no way.
I wonder if it made the Hulu cut. You know how they have the Hulu version.
Definitely not.
Well,
definitely not. It was terrible.
Well, I thought the segment was it was bad because of the stuff that was said, but it's also bad because it just wasn't funny. You had the line about all the Asian people, they all look alike, because you're trying to make fun of when they say look. It's just really stupid humor, and it's funny because Jinder Mahal's character is, he says that the fans don't like him because of the skin of his color, yet he's sitting here making fun of Shinsuke for other reasons really related to his particular race. So it's ridiculous.
The explanation that they gave was to justify being racist.
Yeah. Yeah, it was too much. But like you said, whenever you have the people chanting that you've gone too far, then you've gone too far. So.
Oh, they were chanting that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Chanting that. They was actually chanting that. There was no boos, there was no applause, it was dead silence, and then they started chanting, this is too far.
Yeah, I actually remember when I was watching this, I was doing some work, and I had the segment going on my computer, and I was shocked at what I was hearing. I was like, no, okay, I know this is WWE, but seriously, this is what they're gonna go with this? They think that because Jinder is a person of color, that it's okay for him to say blatantly racist things. It's not. It's just not. And they were just fine with Jinder doing the whole thing of just telling Shinsuke, don't trust these Americans, they'll turn against you just like they turn against me and all this other stuff. Just stick with that. Don't do all this other crap that they did. You know, like I felt that they did bring it a bit too far. So just I don't know, man. It was disappointing.
I just wonder how Jinder felt when he found out, when he read this, that this is what he had to do.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable. He didn't look comfortable.
You can still say no. So even that, I can't even there's no justification with that.
I think Jinder's response is, hey, well, I'm just here to collect the paycheck, so I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do, like your boy Roman Reigns. So, but yes, hopefully they learn from this lesson. But yeah, it's way too far with that particular segment.
No, learn from this lesson at all because they've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Unless this was the whole point. Unless this was their point of saying, let's just go too far. Let's get out there. Let's get the heat from the outside media of wrestling and hope that turns into viewership. That's the only thing I could think of. Remember when Triple H got into the casket? With, who was it? It was Kane's dead sister or whatever.
The Katie Vick thing. Katie Vick. Yeah.
You know, remember that? With a corpse?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? That made it all over the news. They were like, yeah, wrestling's gone too far. You know, so if somebody was to jump from that point now, like, yeah, I bet you that guy got fired. That was the last one. Well, no, he married the boss's daughter, and now he's, like, running the place. Are you kidding me? What? I'm definitely not watching now. They changed, right? Well, if you heard what happened with Jinder, he was saying this stuff about John. What?
You have to remember that the boss, Vince McMahon, greenlights everything that you see on television. It doesn't get on there unless he approves it. Yep. So the Katie Vick thing, the Jinder Mahal thing, that's all Vince's brain trust or whatever. So
even the fact that he's like, oh, no color in matches, no blood. No, I'm telling you. But yeah, when he wants to do it, yeah, all right, let's do it. I want to bleed. But you said, shut up. It's my business. I want to bleed. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That goes into another thing with you got Jinder Mahal, you got Rusev, you got Kevin Owens. What do they have in common? The evil foreigner. That's just what they do. Is the foreigner is evil. It's always just that. It's an old trope or whatever you call it. But I did say going to Kevin Owens. That was the last part I was going to get into with SmackDown. That I was amused by his promo. I was amused by the opening vignette of him and Vince. The whole headbutt and everything. I don't know, like Kevin. I just get a real kick out of Kevin Owens being like a big hypocrite and a big like bully and all that. Like it just amuses me to no end. And then his line about saying like, "Oh, I don't go to hell for this kind of things. I'll go to heaven." Like it's so absurd and so like out of touch that's great. So Owens has been one of the highlights of SmackDown since he joined, in my opinion.
I hope that Owens wins that match. Because if he doesn't win the match, I'll be very disappointed. I know they have this whole thing where Shane needs to protect his honor, so it probably will be Shane that wins. But Owens,
it should never be Shane. He is not a talent.
Yes,
he's not a wrestler. He should be jobbing every damn match. He wants to be part of it. Fine, do all your high spots. Fine, but you are not going over. There is no reason for you to go over. You're going to put down one of your talents? It just doesn't make sense. That's worse than a part-timer. Think about it. You're not even a wrestler. You're not even a talent. You are not part-time. You may go to the gym and work out, but you don't roll with these dudes every day, every week. Come on now.
I agree.
And there's no way he's going to win against Kevin Owens. There's no way. I don't see that at all.
I hope that you are correct. I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks. And we will definitely talk about that on a future show because that'll be here soon.
If they want to do a real storyline twist with all of this, have Triple H come out to help Kevin Owens. And as most people know, for a while before, there was real heat between Shane and Triple H. because Shane left and didn't want anything to do with wrestling, and ventured off in other businesses. And then when he decided to come back, wanted to do all these changes. Meanwhile, Triple H and Stephanie and Vince, but pretty much Triple H and Stephanie were on the road all the time. They were running shit. So they could do a twist where Kevin Owens is Triple H's pick. That was his boy. That's who he wants, and that's why he's putting him there, and that's fine. Kevin Owens deserves it. I could see him maybe coming down, interfering in that, and I'm like, what are you doing? This and this and that. And then just getting in his face, and that can lead to a Mania match there, because then it's like it doesn't matter for both, because both of them are not wrestlers. Triple H isn't a wrestler anymore. He's not a part-timer. He sort of fills the role like Undertaker. He only comes out at Mania, and then he's done. So then put both of them and let them both have their own, feud at Mania. But besides that, I don't see any other direction for this, because there's no way that Shane deserves it. So.
No, I agree, 100%. I agree. But
do you see any type of like in some weird way? Would you see somehow Vince getting involved?
I just don't see how he would get involved. Like, I mean, are they going to have him attack and have those punches really cause impact? He's 77 years old. I mean, come on.
Well, no, he's not getting involved because he's not getting involved because it made it the selling of he broke his ribs based on the attack and all this other stuff. So he won't get involved anymore, I don't think.
Stephanie?
No.
Well, that's why I think it'll be Triple H, because it'll look like he's coming out to help. And then really he's not, and then maybe he'll attack Shane, or he'll help. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Shane will try to do the same thing off the top of the cage of the cell. Is it Hell in the Cell or is it cage? Hell in the Cell. Try to do that again, and then this time, Triple H comes and pulls Kevin Owens off of it, and Shane goes through the table again. Or the worst case scenario, Shane misses, and then it's really over. The whole thing is over. Because there's only so many times you can go to that well before you run out of water. And he takes a lot of chances. And there's no reason for these spots, but he still wants to do them. And think about that. Like, he's doing basically an elbow drop from the top of a cell to a table. Because there's no cushion. There's nobody going to be there. No one's taking that bump. So there's no point for this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we need to move on to the next topic. We're going to talk about WWE 2K18. I believe that we have all seen the gameplay trailer at this point. And I did see the video earlier today, the Creation Suite stuff that they have changed or added to the game. Do you guys have any thoughts now on whether or not you think WWE 2K18 is going to be good based on their recent trailer, though? That is the question I had.
The devs' response to what they showed for the back and the story it says it all. Experimental. He's like, this is an experimental time. We're trying something. He completely backtracked from when they were like, we have done revamped. We've done amazing changes, because I think when they put everything together, they're like, this don't look right. But it's too late now. Think about it. If for anybody that doesn't know, the story and the whole thing that works is for my career, your creative guy doing his thing. There's two paths. There's a side for the GM, and there's a side of like the hero, just a wrestler. But what you do is you roam around backstage, and the people are just like standing there talking to them, and you interact with them, and then from there it'll have different dialogue of what you can do, whether use a guy for a tag team. Hey, you want to be my tag team partner? And they'll probably say yes or no, whatever. Hey, interview me, or maybe attack this guy. Do you want to start a feud with this guy? So it's like they're just like these NPCs just laying around in the back, and then you just like walk up and you just interact and do something with them. And it doesn't sound right. And they're saying, well, we're just changing things up. We're just trying to see how this works out. So if this doesn't go over well, you won't see it next year. But they still haven't talked about some of the other things that we want to know. Like, is that it? Is that my creator? Like, what happened to the other modes? What happened to Seth Rollins mode? That's supposedly his journey. Where's that? We saw that in that live action trailer where he's smashing everything, and it's like it's all about him. So it's like, all right, what is about you? What's going to? Is there a showcase mode for him? They haven't talked about that, and I don't think there is. I think it's this. You have a bunch of match types. You got a bunch of wrestlers. I'm sure my universe is still there, and then you got my career, and that's it. I don't. It feels empty with that. And it's like, and then with that video footage that we saw, that looked like a completely different game than from what they were showing us earlier with the entrances. But then again, that's just the way it always is. They have these beautiful screenshots. They clean them up. They do the whole shebang. And then when you finally see it, it never really looks that way. So you know it's true. Everybody knows. That's why it's like when they're like, "Yo, you seen these new screenshots?" I said, "I don't need to because it's fake. It's all fake news, fake photos. That's doctored shit."
They call those bull shots.
Yeah, bull shots, straight up bullshit. Because that is not how they're gonna look when it actually plays out. Because man, when that video trailer came out and I sent it to all my other WWE, game wrestling fans, they're like, "What the fuck is this? This ain't what I saw. This ain't the end from the end." Two different things. Two different things. So we'll see. They didn't really address all the stuff for the online version, for the universe and all that stuff, how that's going to work. They did say that I guess it's going to scan your profile to see other friends that have the game, and their My Creator guys could then populate backstage. I don't know how that's going to work. That's just so. Let's say if Rich, you have your own guy, and is it going to scan and say, hey, one of your friends has this game and this is a guy he made, so we're going to put him in it? Or do we have to already feud, or do I have to go into your profile and download your guy? I don't know. But that's something else they said they added. The only thing that I'm interested in is just right now is just carrying the guy around and setting up different spots. That's pretty much it. That's the only improvement that I've seen. That is like, oh, well, okay. Because, people are like, oh, but they got all these new wrestlers. Well, that's a given. It's an updated roster. Every new sport game has an updated roster. That's expected. So that's nothing new. That is just expected with a new iteration of a game. But when it comes to adding new features, right now the only one that I see that catches my eye is the ability to carry the guy and to set him up in different ways. Whether you want to put him on your shoulder, you want to put him up top, you want to throw him out of the ring, just throw him out. You could do that. But besides that, I don't see anything else. And it's upsetting because I'm always looking forward to these games. We all are. I'm probably also going to get it, but we're going to be like, damn, I'm sure it changed because half of this game is not even worth playing. And it sucks. And where's Aleister Black? No fucking Aleister Black, and they still haven't talked about if he's DLC or not. That's pissing me off because he has to be DLC then. If he's not in the game, he has to be DLC. And they always announce the DLC characters. They learned their lesson from the past where they didn't tell anybody and people just got heated and say, I'm not buying your season. I'm not paying any of this shit because I don't know what I'm getting. So then they changed it. So then they said, now they announce it. So now I'm waiting for that announcement.
That announcement is going to definitely come at some point in time. So we'll see. I want to make a real quick comment on my thoughts of the game, and then I'm going to give the floor to Ricky and Dana. I just will say the trailer, it looks okay, I guess. Again, like you said, everything you said about it, we already know it's not going to look like this. Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of things they still do need to address. But I will say this. After playing NBA 2K18 for the last week and a half, I see that 2K has taken a lot of approaches to make sure that a good game now has a lot of issues. You have the microtransactions that they have that are in there. So now I expect that stuff to also be in WWE 2K18, which I do not like. And then I saw the My Player, which they basically have like it's a hub with a whole bunch of people that can come into. That sounds pretty much exactly like what they're going to do with this game. And I'm not really a fan of that. It doesn't look as polished. Obviously, when you play the actual game, yeah, it looks great when you play NBA 2K. But when you get into all this other stuff, it doesn't look. It just doesn't look like it's something that should be on an older generation console. It doesn't really feel like it's the same quality of everything else that is in the game. So we'll see what happens. But
I'm wondering if they're close with them like that. Are they talking about like, hey, look, this is the structure that we have for our version of a story. Why don't you incorporate that? Like the way EA is doing it with all their sport games with like the Journey and all the other ones for the Madden. I wonder if 2K is doing that.
Ultimate Team.
Yeah, with all that. Oh, yeah. I'm wondering if they're doing that. I don't know if they're doing it because that's the other thing. that, like we said, with the Ultimate Team, and then even with 2K, with NBA 2K, they have their own version of that. I wonder if they would have something like that for wrestling, where you would create them or get updated stats. I don't know if it's that involved that they would never do it because we don't know.
Wait a second. You said something there that stood out. You said update, and whenever I think of ukes, or as I call it, pukes, they don't know what that word means.
No, they don't do the updates. That's what I'm saying. Like I even before, when I was thinking about it, when I was like, man, they need to have somebody that just watches a product and makes those adjustments on the fly to keep the content fresh. They would have to hire somebody, but then they would have to pay them. So I'm like, that could be something else that they add. Hey, how about this? Another extra $20, for the year, and you'll get this constant update. Where if a guy shaves his head, he'll come down bald. If he has a new outfit, he has a new gimmick, that new gimmick will be there. If he's now in a new stable with these guys, and then those are the people who will be. Don't worry, we'll do it. And I wonder if they would do that. And I get it. The additional money would just be to pay that one dude to do all that.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is a great idea, and that is exactly why they won't do it, because it is a good idea.
Because that's what you said with the NBA, from what the backlash, and then from what they were saying from 2K was response was like, this game, yes, it always has updates, like we said, and it does all that, but they're trying to pay those people, and this is the way to fund, so they can keep paying these guys to keep working on the game throughout the year.
Yeah, so, that is a night and day difference with that company, because take, for example, with Kyrie Irving, this is a guy that is now on the Celtics. He was on the Cavaliers. They have already updated all of that before the game even came out. And even with today's news that Carmelo Anthony is now going to OKC, they have already they've already decided, they've already working on this update. Yes, that's right. He's going to OKC, so that's going to be updated. But in the case of this game, like if you have Velveteen Dream, I think he's in the game. I think that's one of Dana's favorites.
Is he in the game?
I'm not sure if he's in. I did see him on that list. I don't really know if that was him, but I know that. Take, for example, you talk about the guys who just made their debuts at the NXT TakeOver. Adam Cole. There's no way in hell he will be in this game.
No, I would see him as DLC. Like I said last time, he's an easy fix. Just grab CM Punk, take the tattoos off, and you're done. They're twins, man. They're twins.
And as soon as CM Punk sees that, he's going to be like, well, hold on a second. Now he may want to try to sue him again. So he'll probably bring that up in his lawsuit. But I don't know.
Give another 2 or 3 years before Punk comes back to wrestling. Maybe not WWE, but he'll come back to wrestling.
That'll happen after he gets his ass whooped in the next UFC fight that he has. Provided
that's not happening. I don't think they're not picking him up for another fight. I think he's going to fight somewhere else. They keep saying it's not. I don't know if you heard about the whole Joe Rogan thing. He's talking shit about him, and he's talking about there was some other person who's not even a fighter. And he's like, yo, that guy can kick CM Punk's ass. And he said it on his podcast. He was talking all this smack.
Yeah.
There's no respect for the guy.
So. We'll see what happens. So Dana, any thoughts on the trailer? Are you sold on the game? Are you planning to pick up the John Cena edition when it drops next month? Or
I will say this is one positive I will say is that I'm very fascinated about how clean the backstage area is kept. That's a clean looking game, very hygienic. But other than that, it was so random. And the whole thing with the whole experimental thing, I would be interested in it, but I would let other people waste their money first and then get it when it's, on sale or at a much cheaper price.
Yeah. I think that price will definitely be cheap by Black Friday, like with a lot of other titles. So, I think that's going to be the best case scenario. But Ricky, you have any thoughts? I don't know if you saw the trailer. I think you did see the trailer because I recall sending you the trailer.
I did, and my opinion doesn't really change. I just have zero interest in the game. As long as Pukes is making the games, no interest on my end. So that's basically it.
Well, I will say, you know, I look forward to seeing whatever else they're going to show. I know, you know, Adam's favorite guy, the sleepy deaf guy that talks, he still has that issue where he talks in the video. So I'm very curious how he's going to put me to sleep on the next video.
Oh, man. Well, the last one, he's trying to sound more upbeat, like someone pointed that out to him. You know, and he's hey, but he still looks high. You know? He still looks high. You know, so it's like, whatever, you know. But it's sad because it's like playing a WWE 2K game. It's like one of those things where if I don't feel like playing a serious game or something I have to focus on, it's something I can play. You know, I can just jump in there, do some matches, do the universe mode, have some surprise run-ins. You know, then I'm done. Then I'm out. Just like FIFA, I go in, play some matches. You know, go against some guy online, blasting reggaeton in the background. Then when we're done, I shut off and I walk away. And it's the same thing. But it's like I feel like I want to be part of it. But here it is. I'm not excited for FIFA 18. And I always get the FIFA, so it doesn't look like I'm going to get this one right off the bat. And I'm not excited for this 2K18. You know, and it's sad. So it's like, what am I going to do? So should I just stick what I have and just ride it out?
Yeah, no, just go ahead and buy them anyway. Even if you aren't excited, then, you know, then you can talk
you
about
got to support them. You got to keep supporting them. But that's the thing. It's like, if we keep supporting this, then they say, damn, why should we even try? We shouldn't even have to try because they buy the shit anyway. We're the only game in town in this genre on these platforms right now. You know what I mean? They got this market cornered. We got no backyard wrestling coming out tomorrow. We got none of that shit. Impact isn't coming out with another video game. Remember when they did that one?
Oh wait, no, wait,
last
no.
gen.
They will come out with a game in the future. It'll be called Bankrupt. That's the game where they tell you how to run your business into the ground. So that game is coming.
Anybody's watching that product, that is horrible. Man, Johnny Impact. You know, I understand Johnny. He can go back to WWE. They would take him back. I know it's a personal thing with the whole drama with him and Batista and stuff like that, but he is so talented. To see him there, like, there's no reason for him to be there. You know, it's whatever. But I just want my Lucha Underground to keep going. If I could Impact and all that stuff.
Oh well, hey, we'll see what happens. But yeah, as for WWE 2K18, stay tuned. We'll talk about more stuff as we get more news. Wait, you about to make a statement, Dana? Or you all set?
No, I'm all set. I'm just looking forward to disappointment and heartache.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the main topic for today. This is about WWE No Mercy. You know, the WrestleMania quality show, according to Vince and company, they want you to believe that they're BS. But we know that that's not true. But yes, No Mercy takes place tomorrow night on the WWE Network. I will be watching one way or another. But let's discuss our thoughts on, you know, the match card as far as who we think is going to win. So I'm going to start off with arguably the biggest match of the night. You guys mentioned it earlier. It is Elias Sampson versus Apollo Crews. So who's going to win that match?
Sampson.
Yeah.
It has to.
Sampson.
It has to.
You know, everything appears to me that they have a plan for Sampson. He has a gimmick. He's actually more at a better level here than he has been when he was in NXT. So yeah, he's going to win.
He's better on the mic than Roman Reigns, you know, and he has a physique. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, he could definitely take that spot. They could definitely work with him on that. You know, he's not bad in the ring. He changes things up. You know, so I definitely could see him as a top guy. I could see it.
Absolutely. That will be my pick also. Definitely Elias. How about you, Dana?
Oh, wait. Side note, real quick. Is he in the game?
Oh, what, Elias Sampson?
Yeah.
I think he's in the game.
I thought I saw him like with the guitar, so maybe.
Yeah, I think he's in the game. I may have to double check that again. I think
He's in the game.
Oh, he is in the game. Okay.
Okay.
There you go. Maybe he's DLC.
They can update. If they update, they can put all his different songs in. So every time he comes down, if they had somebody that could do updates that actually cared about the product, that's all I'm saying. So
there you go. You're right. See, these are all excellent ideas, which is why they won't happen. So we'll see what happens. Huh? Yeah. How about you, Dana? Who do you think is going to win that match?
I like Elias. I really do. I like his corny songs.
Yeah.
He's entertaining, and he can wrestle. He's weird on the mic. It works. I want to see more from him, so I want him to win.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. The guys in the back in WWE want him to win too, which is why they last minute put him in this kickoff match. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. So I think we all said Elias. So yeah, make sure you keep track of those numbers.
I do think that it's a bit corny that they wanted to take Samson out of the name and just call him Elias. I refuse. He's Elias Samson.
Yeah, I agree. Well, this is Vince's thing with removing the last names, and
he did that with. Well, remember with Neville.
Yeah,
they shortened his name too. Shit, I don't even remember the first part of his name.
Adrian.
That's it, Adrian
Neville.
And Vince probably said, that Adrian name, it sounds too sissified. This is why I want to get rid of that and just use Neville as the main name. So I don't know.
Next time it'll be the Evil Goblin.
There you go.
Adrian Neville, Antonio Cesaro, Alexander Rusev. It's just more cutting names off.
That's right. And with those names, we also do have the instances where the wrestlers' gimmicks also get cut down as well. Rusev was a powerful force when he made his debut. Now it's like, he ain't nothing now. He's okay, I guess, but he deserves so much more. But we'll see. All right, so since you guys mentioned Neville, let's get into that next. We have Neville going up against Enzo for the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, Adam, you already said Enzo winning the belt. So do you have anything else you want to elaborate on with that point?
He's going to cheat. I mean, he's been cheating, and that's the thing. It's supposed to be part of his gimmick. It's weird. It's almost like, yeah, we know you're not that good. Well, I know I'm not that good. So then he cheats, and he points it out that he cheats, So I see that happening, and I think that's the best route they could go, because if you were to really look, if this was like a pro-type sport in the card, and it was like, all right, we got this Enzo, and we got Neville, and it's like no one sees Enzo winning that match. Not even if Neville comes in drunk or something. It's not happening. But if he cheats and plays dirty, he could win. And that's, now that we know that it's accepted as part of his character, and people still cheer him because they're like, yeah, that's just who he is. That's how he's going to win. He's going to cheat. So I see him getting the belt, and I see him having that belt for a while until they figure out what the hell they're going to do with 205, and who they're going to add in to start some more sparks, because it needs some sparks right now. And right now, think about it. Like, what new additions have they made since this thing launched? And it's only Enzo. These are the same guys that were in the Cruiserweight Classic. Just circling around, doing the dance. We're seeing SmackDown shakeups. We're seeing Raw shakeups. We're seeing NXT up and down. 205, still same guys. Still on the same merry-go-round. So they need the shakeup. If you want people to watch it, you got to offer some shakeup, some surprises. Add some other people. Where's Kalisto? Why isn't he in this shit? He's not doing anything on the main roster. He's a little dude. Put him in. Or have him go back and forth. Show the world that if you're in 205, it doesn't mean it's set in stone that you're here for life. Have some guys move up. Johnny Wrestling, do something with him. Johnny Gargano, I'm sure he's not going to stay in NXT forever. Throw him in 205. He's great. He'll do great there. Do something. I don't know. There was some interest, because right now it's kind of dull. The guys can perform, but they just lack character, and I think it's also time. Remember, it's only 1 hour, so there's only so much they can do. So they got to figure something out, because they are talented. Those guys are very talented. But besides, Brian Kendrick, there's really no one else good on the mic, to help sell matches. And as much as we talk about wrestling stuff, it's still entertainment for the majority of people. They need to be sold on these things. They need to care. So if they don't hear any backstory, they're not seeing any of this stuff going on, then they don't care when someone says, I'm going to kick your ass tonight. Whatever. Fucking player number 1 and player number 2, don't care. Maybe I like the guy who does that crazy flip. Oh, wait, they both do crazy flips. I don't care then. I just want to see some shit. Hand me a beer, please? Thanks. All right. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just going to be a filler. No one's going to care. So they need to just spark it up that way. And right now, I don't think they've had anyone really writing anything for them. I think it's more of just like, all right, matchmaking. All right, you're going against this guy. You're going against this. And it's like, all right, go do your thing. I mean, the only storyline that we see right now is the Brian Kendrick with the British dude, where he was kicking his ass for a while, and then eventually the British guy decided, Gallagher, right, decided to partner up with Kendrick. So there goes that. I don't see where that's going, but that's the only real storyline, because then you just have Enzo cheating all the time and winning. And now he has a title shot. So.
Absolutely.
Like Dana said, the day that everyone starts wising up, we're like, you know what? I don't want to hear you talk, is when they open up the door and be like, all right, can you go out there? What's out there, my ride? No, the bus. You can get on the fucking bus. It's gone. Yow. Like, what do you mean? I'm selling merch. You were selling merch. What do you mean? People like to hear me. They boo you, and not in a good way. So you gotta go. We're done. Because right now, it's the heat that he has is just with some of the guys in the back, whether they're jealous or whatever it is. But when it comes to the management, they love him. He makes money. You know? So, I mean, I find it funny. That's why I don't bother reading Reddit and all this stuff. They're like, oh, he has all this heat. No one likes him. The dude has a title shot. Just think about that. The dude has a title shot. If they didn't like him, he would be buried. He would be where Apollo Crews is right now. You know what I mean? He would be down at the bottom. Because remember, Apollo Crews, they were hyped on him for a while. When he came from NXT, remember? They were hyping him up. They were like, yeah, this is the next big thing. And then flatline, gone. You know? They could have did that with Enzo. They could have threw him in 205 and had him job to every single guy on that roster. But they didn't. He came out winning. So he has no heat with the people that matter. You know? So he's gonna, and that's it. So whoever's upset with him and talking all that shit, and Roman Reigns can say he's the new judge because, you know, Wrestler's Court and all that stuff, don't matter. Don't matter if you're the judge, jury, doesn't matter because Vince likes him. Yeah. He makes Vince money. It's like having that good prostitute on the block. All the girls are jealous, too pretty, getting all the money. Don't matter, pimp is happy. Yo, and that's the same shit right here. Because they sending out there, go make me that money. Go out there, boy. Go shoot that crazy promo. Get those people to run down to the bathroom and then pick up some new T-shirts. And that's it. And Enzo does it.
Yeah. So, hey, that's a good explanation for why you think Enzo is going to win. So, Dana, how about you? Who do you think is going to win, Enzo or Neville? Uh-oh.
I'm going to have to completely agree and go with Enzo. You know, as was said, he is selling merchandise. So, you know, that little kid who still loves Enzo is the one that really matters, not the adults who's complaining about him talking too much. To me, I can't stand him. But, you know, right now, he is getting that reaction from the backstage because the fans in the crowd are slowly losing it. But that little kid in the front row is still like, yeah, I love him. So he's gonna win.
Do you remember when he had that he did that back and forth with the Miz? And the Miz was trying to rip on him and stuff. And then he came out with one response saying that the one thing that he has is that he's different. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, he's right. There's never been a guy like Enzo. You know what I mean? It's like everyone that we have now is rehashes of other people that we can remember and relate. Oh, well, Dolph Ziggler reminds me of like a young Shawn Michaels and this and this and that, you know, and then this guy is like that. It's like, no, that's right. He is his own person, whether it's good or bad. The fact that he comes out the way he is, and that's all his own design, his own style. You know what I mean? It's all him. You know, he is his character. So in that case, yeah, I mean, no one's going to clone him. They can't clone him. The WWE didn't make him that way. That's him doing his own thing that he started in NXT, and it worked. So he was right in that respect.
Yeah. So yeah, I see him just completely. He's going to win.
Oh.
You know, and also can you not hear me?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hear you.
I hear you.
Oh, okay. So he's going to win. I feel that it's going to help probably with the ratings. If anyone still watches 205 Live,
I watch it. I jump on it.
Yeah, so absolutely. He is right now the best thing that can happen to 205 Live. So he needs that win. WWE needs that win.
Interesting. All right, Ricky, who's your pick?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just disconnected from the product or, 205 Live or whatever, but I see Neville retaining it. I think that they'll have Enzo eventually get the title off of him. I don't think that they'll do it right away. They'll kind of build more towards it. They may have it where like Enzo comes very close, but Neville has to resort to cheating himself to retain, and then there'll be some kind of rematch, and in that rematch, Enzo will finally get the belt. They love playing that whole underdog card with baby faces like Enzo, so I can see them doing that. I think considering that they just recently gave Neville the belt back, I think it's too soon for him to just drop it to Enzo. So I think it's going to be a thing where, because if Enzo just beats Neville like right away for the belt, you're establishing that Enzo is above Neville, a guy who's held the belt for almost a whole year. And so I don't think that's the narrative they really want to push.
Yo, Ricky, Sasha Banks just sent me a text because she heard what you said, and she was like, did you see what happened to me after I won my belt the next week? Did you see that? Yeah, because they don't. You're talking about companies that don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They will hype you to death, and then they'll take the belt. You'll get the belt, and then the next day you'll lose the damn belt.
Yeah, and they did that with Tozawa, and I just don't. I don't understand the hot potato, approach. And I mean, maybe I'm a bit more conservative with my prediction there, but that's just kind of my feeling on that.
All right, I just want to make a quick comment because I know we have a couple other matches we need to say, but I just want to say this. I also agree 100% with what you said, Ricky. Enzo, he's going to get that belt eventually. I don't think he's going to get that belt tomorrow, though. And the reason why is for the same reasons you said. With Tozawa, they made this guy the guy to take the belt off of Neville. When you could have had Austin Aries do it, you said, no, it has to be another guy. So because that has already happened, then I would say, no, I think Enzo will retain. If they had decided Enzo was that guy, then okay, oh, yeah, Enzo definitely winning. But I don't see it happening tomorrow, but we'll see what happens.
All right.
There is going to be a title change. There will be a title change, maybe even two at this event. I just don't know if that's one of them. But listen, y'all make good points, so I'm very curious to see how that turns out. We'll see. So let's go on. Since Adam mentioned Sasha Banks, let's talk about Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax versus Bayley versus Emma for the Raw Women's Championship. Who do you guys think is going to win that match?
Emma. Everybody knows that.
Swerve.
What I mean? Like, that's the joke. And that's the problem with this. It should never be like that. It should always be like, damn, I don't know. Anybody can win this. You know what I mean? That's what makes it fun. But when we're like laughing people off, they're filler. It's like a lot of people felt like the reason why Emma was put in that match to begin with is because that's the one that's going to take the pin. Because they want everybody else to look strong. So I'm like, damn, well, we all know Nia's going to win it. This is her time. So she's going to slam her, and then she's going to beat her and take the belt. So then that way Bliss could be like, hey, you didn't pin me. And then everybody else like, you didn't pin me. And then Bayley's in there. I mean, I can't see them doing that. Bayley beating everybody and getting her belt back. That was never the story to begin with. So, I don't know, man.
So you say Nia Jax then?
Yeah, Nia Jax. I could say I don't think she deserves it, but I mean, there's only so many flip-flopping that you can. She's just out there to hurt people. She's still green, but you're seeing everybody else already had it multiple times. Think of all the people in that match. Bayley's had it a few times, right? You got Bliss already had it a few times. Sasha had it, I don't know, 20, 30 times. She's got it surpassed like more than anybody. You know what I mean? It's like, so Nia, and then you got Emma. There's no way Emma's getting this. I mean, if she did, that would, damn. Well, Jordan? If Jordan can come in and help her, that's it. If he cheats and he helps her, because remember she told Kurt Angle's like, oh yeah, he's gonna be my boyfriend. What if she did that? That'd be a twist.
That would be interesting. We already know Emma, as Vince would say, no chance in hell. But hey, we'll see what happens. So real quick, my pick for this, I also was thinking it's Nia Jax, and the reason why I think it's Nia Jax is because I keep hearing these reports about they want to do Asuka versus Nia Jax. So we know Asuka's coming. You know, obviously, I think the timeline of when she is coming, that is where WWE will surprise people, because this will probably be a lot sooner than people expect. So, but yeah, one thing I will say is, no, Emma will not win. Bayley, no, but I do think that the Sasha heel turn is coming, because you can't have her, you know, they're all buddy all this time. No, that heel turn is coming at some point.
She was better as a heel.
Yeah, she is 20 times better as a heel. Yeah, I agree. So that's probably going to happen, and it may start in this match if it doesn't happen outright in this match. But I think either Nia Jax or Alexa. But for some reason, I think Nia Jax, because they've made Nia Jax look powerful. So, and they need to put it on someone else, unless they just have Alexa keep it. So I say possibly Nia Jax. How about you, Ricky? Who was your pick?
Yeah, I'm thinking Nia Jax also. I remember they had that Raw a while back where it was kind of like a gauntlet match, and Nia pretty much like destroyed almost the whole women's division by herself, and then it came down to her versus, I believe, Sasha, and Sasha ended up winning it at the end. That kind of surprised me, because I was really kind of expecting that Nia was just going to sweep them all, and I was thinking, wow, they're really going to push her now. So I felt like they were like almost ready to do that, and I think now will be the time for her to get the belt, and then as you guys have said, in time for Asuka to come and challenge for that. So that's my prediction.
Very good point. Dana, how about you? Who do you think is going to win it?
I am torn between Alexa and Nia. My heart wants Nia. I don't care if she's green. I just want someone other than the other four that we're so used to having any form of a belt. I do feel, though, that WWE doesn't seem to like new people. So I picture Alexa probably winning with this whole situation. Now that it's mentioned, I think that it was such an afterthought to put Nia in at the last minute.
Bayley?
Yeah, Bayley. Sorry. And Nia a little bit too. Didn't they add her at the last minute?
I felt like it was designed for her to win. You know?
Yeah.
Like, this was her way of doing it, because they're like, one-on-one, but if we make her look real strong, have her in this match, she'll just destroy everybody, and she'll be like the Brock of the women's division.
Oh, well, first of all, I can't stand Bayley, as I previously stated. So I don't know if this means that she might actually win. I mean, you're adding her in, and randomly, it felt very anticlimactic when she came back. But they do love Bayley, so she could end up winning it. But I can't stand her. So I honestly want Nia to win. I need someone new. I need someone that is strong and powerful. And I love Nia, and the fact that Asuka is coming, next Monday? So I'm looking forward to her return. Not her return, but to her coming to, as much as I hate Raw, you know, maybe it'll do something to put some type of spirit and life into this women's division right now, because they suck. So
good
I'm gonna go with Nia. She's new, she's fresh. You know, yes, she is green, but I think that strong woman type of personality going against Asuka, I view it as kind of like, the David and Goliath of wrestling. And it's entertaining for me.
Yeah, I can only see two possible outcomes: either Nia winning the belt, or Alexa retaining, because of this whole thing of like, oh my goodness, there's all these other competitors in this match, and the odds are against the champion to retain, and all this stuff, and then it would just be very much like Alexa to sneak her way out of this retaining the belt somehow, with all the other women beating each other up, and her kind of sneaking in the pin and running out with the belt. I could see that, but I think it's just Nia's time, so that's just my thought on that.
And I hate Emma. I just hate the way how she's managed and handled. I don't know what they're doing with her. And her in this match was just random as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, We'll say what?
It feels like no one really cares, and because I get the sense of them not caring by adding these random people, especially Emma, in, that Alexa's going to retain.
It's possible. We'll find out. We'll find out soon. Tomorrow. Okay, another match. Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. Let me just say right now, I don't care about this match, because this match, as I said earlier, this feud should have ended at the last pay-per-view. So I feel like, since Finn Balor won the last match, he will probably lose this match. I don't know. And I don't really care about what's going to happen. But what are you guys' picks?
It's drawn out. But
man, it's like, all right, so Bray won. Finn won the last one. Maybe he wins again, but it's like, what's the point? I don't see the end game. Like, all right.
Yeah, they've already proven that Bray Wyatt can beat regular Finn Balor without the face paint. So This match is once again going back to that whole thing. So obviously Finn Balor is over with the fans. He should win the match. I don't really know what the plan is, though, what they're doing with all this other stuff. So I will say maybe Bray Wyatt if they intend to extend it longer. But we'll see.
Yeah,
the
I
whole
agree. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say wait.
Go ahead, Dana.
Oh, okay. So the whole thing for me is just out of order. Like, for me to even be interested, Wyatt should have beaten Balor without the makeup, and then Balor should have won as a demon. And then Balor would have won again as himself. So I don't understand how this whole concept is even going. Like, what are they trying to prove?
Yeah, I don't.
See, in my opinion, it totally undervalues the whole demon gimmick, because the whole point of that gimmick was this is a new version of Finn Balor, and he wins. So now you're saying, well, he didn't get the job done against Bray Wyatt as the demon either. So that's why I said it doesn't make any sense. The feud should have been ended right as soon as SummerSlam, and then we could have moved on to new programs for both of these guys. But I will add that Samoa Joe is out, so I don't know if they are intending to have him face one of them, which is why they said, well, we have to keep these guys together. I don't know. I don't know what the plan was.
Or we know that they're doing a repackaging with Eric and Harper. So maybe they say, you know what? Fuck it. We'll bring one of you guys back or both of you back, help Wyatt out, and they reform the Wyatt family.
That's
maybe
possible.
something like.
Are they trying to do a storyline between like the Wyatt family and then everyone who wears face paint? Are we gonna see like Finn and Goldust team up? I don't understand what they're trying to do.
Maybe. Oh, and then you bring in Crazy Matt. Yeah, if Matt Hardy can actually go broken and they could do something.
Oh dear.
Jeff would come out with face paint. So.
Well, I know Jeff has a shoulder injury, so he's gone.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that was. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, I think you guys already said your picks. You said don't care, right?
No.
Yeah, don't care.
All right. So let's go on to another match that we don't care about: The Miz versus Jason Jordan. Oh, go ahead, Nick.
Yep. Sorry. I was gonna say about Balor and Wyatt. It's just 50-50 booking. If you'll remember, Raw before SummerSlam, they had Bray Wyatt win and dump the blood on Finn Balor. Finn Balor's like, oh, okay, well now I'm gonna go and body paint and I'll show you. And that's exactly what he did at SummerSlam. He won that. This is gonna be Bray Wyatt winning, and now to extend it to the pay-per-view afterwards, where Finn Balor will get the last laugh, and this will be a long drawn-out thing. So I'm saying Bray Wyatt will win it. I'm hoping Balor does, but it's going to be Bray Wyatt. Okay, next match.
Yeah, okay. So that's a very good point. We'll see. The Miz and Jason Jordan.
Did they ever follow up with the blood like what that was supposed to be?
No, they never did.
No, they just move on.
No.
And they just forget every week with every show. They forget. Well, let's forget what happened last week. Unless, of course, it's a storyline that we care about, like Roman Reigns and John Cena. We're going to show that 5 times on the next show. So that's what they do.
Yeah.
But Miz and Jason Jordan, I'll say this now. I'm a fan of the Miz. Jason Jordan is not ready for no title, in my personal opinion. And I know Vince, they will make you believe he is ready for this because he's quote unquote Kurt Angle's son. I'm rooting for the Miz to beat his ass tomorrow night. So
unless Kurt Angle interferes in some way.
Unless Kurt Angle interferes. So, but Kurt Angle keeps saying he ain't coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, but I could see him interfering. Doesn't mean he has to come out to wrestle, but I could see him come maybe like the Miz Siraj, whatever, getting involved, and he comes down and starts kicking their ass, but then the Miz confronts him like, hey, what are you doing? And he hits him and throws him back in the ring, and then Jordan gets to catch him with like an angle slam or whatever it is he does now.
You know why I love that, even though it doesn't make any sense, is the fact that, remember when Shane attacked, Kevin Owens? And then that got him like, you're no longer a part of the board. You're just a regular wrestler now. And Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan was like, oh, we can't attack people. Yeah, and I always want to attack the Miz. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that would be like a great angle to like show how managers can lose their cool that way. Yep. But no, that again is a great idea. And that means that they're not going to do it.
Because then even if someone wants to come and say, hey, why'd you do that? They were double teaming and triple teaming my son. I had to help my son. You know what that's like.
And then you can somewhat bring Vince in. But no, of course we won't do that. But yeah.
Yeah. So who's your pick, Dana? You said Jason Jordan?
No, honestly, Jason Jordan, I picked the American Alphas. I picked them, forgetting this whole storyline and him teaming up with that other guy again. And there be American Alphas. I don't care who wins.
Uh-oh.
The Miz is great with the mic, but Jason Jordan needs to win, obviously, but it's just something that I don't care about. To me, it should have been Jeff Hardy, but now with his shoulder injury, it makes sense why he's not in the match.
We'll see. How about you, Ricky? Who's your pick?
It's going to be Jason Jordan. I think the way it's going to go down is, yes, the Miz Raj will be involved. I think Miz will initially pin Jordan, and then Kurt Angle will come out and say, it's not going to end like that, restart the match. And then Jordan will, Miz will argue with Kurt Angle, and while that happens, Jordan will take advantage, pin him, win the belt, and you'll have Kurt Angle in the ring with Jordan raising his arm and hugging him and all that crap. That's how I see it, and then it's going to be a thing of Miz butting heads with Kurt Angle, the following day and stuff. So that's how I see it happening. I think Jordan will win the Intercontinental belt.
Good explanation.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. So, Adam, you think you're the last one before we move on to the next one. Who is your pick?
I think as they're going at it in the ring, the lights will go out. When the lights come back on, you're going to see Sabu in the middle pointing up. He's going to beat both their asses, and then we're all going to care about the match, And that's it. Unless that happens, I don't give two shits.
All right, yeah, hey, well, I don't care either. But, hey, if Jason Jordan wins, hey, that's a great little father-son moment like Ricky said, But I still don't give a shit. But, sorry, I shouldn't say that. But we'll see. All right, so the tag team title match, we have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro. They have a long-running storyline with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, so I don't think it would make sense for them to lose the belts yet. Cesaro and Sheamus, I'm a little tired of this team. There needs to be another team that comes in and challenges for the title, so I think Ambrose and Rollins retains. How about you, Ricky? Who do you think wins this match?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you that Ambrose and Rollins retain the belts. They will drop it, before the year is up, but I think it's too soon for them to do that. Sheamus and Cesaro, to their credit, they've done pretty well gelling as a team and all that, but let's not do the whole hot potato thing with them too. And I think that when it's time for Ambrose and Rollins to drop the belts, we'll see the signs leading up to it. We'll see the friction start to build back up. Maybe losing some matches on Raw, and starting to point the blame, and then we get the Dean Ambrose heel turn that we all know is coming sooner or later, and I think that's when they'll drop the belt. I don't think that's coming tomorrow, so I'm going to say that Ambrose and Rollins retain.
Cool. All right, Adam, what's your pick?
I think they're gonna win. I think Dean and Rollins are gonna win. But what I would like for them to do is to do something similar to like the way the Young Bucks have done things with, like, go to New Japan, go to Ring of Honor, and they still have their belt, they're still the champs and the whole thing, and just taking on all tag teams. Well, have the, Dean and Rollins do that in the WWE universe. Have them go to Smackdown out of nowhere and challenge some tag team there. Have them go to NXT and do a challenge. Hell, even go on 205 and say, yeah, we'll challenge any of you two guys. We're the baddest tag team on the planet. You know what I mean? Have them do that in the WWE universe. That would draw even more interest on them. I don't know. I think that would be fun.
I like that.
Long time ago, the Shield, when the Shield was together and Ambrose was the U.S. champion, he challenged, or Neville challenged Ambrose for his U.S. title, and they actually had a match on NXT, which is pretty cool. So I think that's cool.
Do something like that. Just have them pop around, throughout the different shows, and then that'll draw interest. Because right now it's like they have select people that do it, but if you're a champion, I think you should have that right to float around. Like, you know what? Let's say they go to SmackDown. It's like, oh, what are you guys doing here? I don't know. We want to challenge somebody. Who wants in on this? And then just give one of your up-and-coming tag teams, the new Alphas, whatever they're called. I don't think they have a name, right? They don't have a name.
No.
Right? With Gable and, what's his name?
The guys that are hardly on SmackDown. That's what the name.
There you go.
Yeah, American Beta.
American Beta, right there in the beta process. Have them and then go on and then go to NXT and do the same thing. But then this time you got the Authors of Pain that come out and put on a hell of a match. And then all of a sudden when they go back to Raw, Authors of Pain get moved up. Whoop. And now people know who they are, because a lot of those people that normally don't want NXT but just watch Ron and Dean, but like, yeah, I want to tune in. Let me watch this. Because they said they're going over there to challenge anybody. I don't know. I think it'd be fun.
That's a very good idea. I want to say this real quick, and then I'm gonna let Dana. You tell me who you think is going to win. I will say this: Ambrose and Rollins will have that belt, but the team that will take that belt off of them, I think it's either going to be the Revival once they get their health issues intact, or the next team that they call up from NXT. But I think the Revival is that team that's going to take the belts once they get it together. Now, Dana, who is your pick to win this?
I love me some. You know what? I actually love both of them.
Oh.
So pleased with whoever wins. I want to see this. It's like the first match where I'm like actually excited to see. I love them both. And I think either one of them could win the titles. But I will say that Dean and Seth needs it more to prove themselves, that Shield once again.
Yeah.
Or as I call them, the She, since there's no more Eels. That Roman ran away.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they need the belts more.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with them. But either way, I'm okay with whoever wins. And I look forward to this match. I like everyone, which is rare.
Yeah, so we'll see about that. Okay, we got two final matches. John Cena versus Roman Reigns. This is one of the big ones, the big dog. The big dog. So here's the thing. I want John Cena to win the match, but John Cena, obviously his schedule is all over the place. Roman Reigns, they want him to win it, and the reason they want him to win it is because they want him to get, his payback on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania next year. So, unfortunately, I have to say Roman Reigns, but I want John Cena to win, but it don't matter because this man is going to get his way. So, Roman Reigns is my pick. How about you, Ricky? Who is your pick?
I keep going back and forth on this because it could go either way, I think. But I can't escape the feeling that Roman Reigns is winning this one. It seems pretty random to throw this match in here. unless maybe Cena's going to take some time off soon again. And so they want to get this out of the way before the road to WrestleMania. And they want to give Roman another marquee victory. And, this would be one way to do it. And, yeah, I don't know. I guess it's going to just be Roman Reigns. That's what I'm picking. I mean, I'm going to pull for Cena, and it's not often that I do. But, it's going to be, Reigns winning and like, oh, this is your yard now, or some crap. I don't know. I really want. I'm looking forward to the match to see how crowd responses are to it and everything. And considering how polarizing both guys are, as they say, I still think the crowd will lean towards Cena. But yeah, it should be a fun atmosphere. But I expect Reigns to win.
Okay. How about you, Adam? Who's your pick?
Cena.
There you go, Cena.
You just don't. I think it's just Cena. I mean, we already went through the reasons and back and forth. I just think Cena feels like in that way. If anything, Roman would just turn heel and just beat the shit out of him. Like that's it.
I would love that. that.
Yeah. We need
everybody would. Like, let's say Cena then stands up. Roman's finally getting up because he took the what you call it, the reverse. He wanted to call the Death Valley Driver because that's what it is. But attitude adjustment. Finally gets up, holding his back. He looks at him. Cena puts his hand out like, "Yo, let's just shake it." And all of a sudden, freaking bam! Superman punch with a cheese move. Just keeps going to town on him. There you go. That's what. So yeah, I want Cena to win.
I love to see that. Okay, Dana, what's your pick?
Well, we all know that Roman is Vince's boy, so he's going to win. He needs it more than, say, John Cena, who has been here since forever and is going away soon to film Transformers.
Yeah.
So I, of course, would love to have John Cena, but I strongly believe that we're going to have, Roman win and go on a whole rant about his yard again. So my dream is for Cena, so he could, shut Roman up just for once and humble him just for once. And the crowd, will be extremely excited about that. But I do somehow feel that because Vince is Roman's boy and refuses to see any downside towards Roman, he will win.
Good points. Okay, and finally we have Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Braun Strowman.
Strowman.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
I'm here's the thing. I'm convinced that Strowman should win. But again, as I mentioned earlier, because we saw Brock Lesnar beat Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and they made it a very, very specific point to show that he pinned Roman Reigns, I feel like now Vince is going to be like, well, no, these guys got to fight again. WrestleMania next year. I want to see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar again. And then Reigns wins the belt from him. So Brock Lesnar's probably going to win this match, even though Braun Strowman, I think, has convinced me he can hold that belt. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to go far enough to actually give him the belt right now. So I have to say Brock Lesnar probably is going to win it.
Okay.
How about you, Ricky?
I say Braun Strowman wins it, and Lesnar will win it back from him sometime during the road to WrestleMania to build towards Lesnar versus Reigns Part 2. But I think that for now they're going to let Braun have his run through the fall as the Universal Champion, and I'm all for it. So.
If that happens, I'm all for it too. Yeah. Okay, Dana, your pick?
I'm the only one who's still saying Brock is going to win because WWE somehow seems to rely on this man and thinks he's the savior or something. So I pick Brock, but even Strowman needs it more. I think the ratings would go up. I think it would be more interesting. And plus, Strowman just seems to be the better person. Even if he just, bulldozes the guy over and over again, he, to me, is someone who's fresh and new, and I'm sick and tired of Brock, but I'm so conditioned for Brock to win, I don't see him not winning.
One last thing I will say is it doesn't help that when they did the poll for WWE for the matches people are looking forward to, 66% said this match. The next number after that was 22% for the Reigns and John Cena match. So I think WWE will look at that and say, well, this is obviously because Brock Lesnar is the star attraction. So they're going to say, well, yeah, he should hold that belt longer. But I would love to see Braun win it. I would be elated to see Braun win it. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow night. Yeah, and I know, Adam, you also said Braun, so we will be rooting for Braun to get it done, and we'll see what happens. All right, so any final thoughts before we wrap up tonight's show?
I'm amazed of what the difference a year makes, at least with Braun Strowman, that I remember a year or two, I should say, because I remember him debuting out of nowhere with the Wyatt family, and it's like, okay, well, Vince just loves these big muscular guys, and who cares how green they are? And Strowman didn't really seem too impressive other than the fact that he was, a big guy, but he's improved a lot.
He was willing to learn. That was it.
Yeah.
He didn't just want to go based off of his size. He wanted to prove that he could actually learn the craft of pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He has.
They gave him that opportunity.
He wanted for that, and he's going to get that damn title.
Oh,
there you go.
Hey, I hope so. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that wraps up our show for this week, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you for listening. Final shout-outs. Adam, you have any final shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, shout-outs to, as you know, everybody that watches on the Throwdown, and now we have a Throwdown show on Twitch. We are sort of switching over, so we've been doing a lot of live gameplay there, and you watch me get lost a lot in GTA, which is always fun. I'm telling you, man, these guys run around and they're like, "Oh, we're in this car," and I'm like, "What car?" And got people in the chat like, "Yo, this change the name to the show." It's like, "Where's Adam?" Because they're finishing missions and I'm not even on that screen, so it's funny. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Look out for that. Keep watching and keep watching WrestleCast. We come out here, we talk the shit, enjoy the show, and there's a lot of wrestling out there. There's plenty of wrestling out there, and that's great for everybody. Especially for WWE, because that's always like the main place everyone wants. That's a big stage. So if you hear about guys in the indies or from other promos, them coming, like hopefully they show up in WWE, and it's not just so they get ruined or whatever. It's because you get to see them more. So that's it. And hopefully we have a good show tomorrow for No Mercy. Hope everybody enjoys that.
All right, Ricky, any final shout outs you'd like to give?
Well, just really to all the viewers for watching the podcast, and looking forward to the next one where we can recap No Mercy, look forward to Hell in a Cell, and maybe even, if we're lucky, talk about Asuka's debut. So pretty excited about that. So yeah.
Absolutely. And Dana, any shout outs from you?
Shout out to everyone that's listening. Shout out to the Koalition. There's more coverage and stuff that's dropping on all different kinds of things. And shout out to, if by any chance Asuka can make her debut on tonight, that would be not lovely, and have her somewhat interfere.
Hey, well, anything's possible. Yes, and again, shout outs to all the fans, the Patreon supporters as well. We will. Some of us. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. Dana and I will be back tomorrow for the co-op, as well as Gary, JJ, and Max potentially. Not really sure yet, but we will definitely talk to you all tomorrow. And if you're looking for a movie to watch this weekend, you need to go see Kingsman: The Golden Circle. That's
it looks so over the top, man. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to see it. You got to see it. It was a fun time. A fun time. And no, Warner Brothers did not pay me to say that. So that's all I want to say. But yes, that's it. We'll talk to you all later.
Peace.